Hello, this is my first video for Dr. Webb. It's on chapter 7, which is conducting your rehearsal. I apologize for looking past the camera. I have my textbook pulled up on my computer. I bought the ebook, not the hard copy. So, there are, to my understanding, 6 steps almost that you should follow when you're running your rehearsals as an educator. So the first being tuning and warm-ups. Um, Tuning is extremely important when it comes to rehearsals and techniques like that. And it's honestly kind of difficult to teach kids, at least at the level that I'm at in ability to teach, because how do you teach someone how to hear a fifth or understand what's in tune? But it's essential that kids in middle school and high school are able to tune their instruments or at least come to you for help with tuning. I had a teacher that I worked with a year ago. It was David Beck, who the way that he would do it is he would basically get their instruments close enough, and then he would have them go back to their seats with a tuner and fine tune everything. So he really stressed the importance of tuning, and as a result of that, his orchestra was actually pretty accurate with their pitches. Um, Warm-ups can be, individual student warm-up, which is what you do when you walk into class, and before the conductor comes on the podium. When I sit there and I go through my different passages that are scaring me or different students, it's intelligent of teachers to allot a specific list of warm-ups that you should do before rehearsal, because as a high schooler, when you walk into your classroom and you sit down and you're playing, you want to almost show off, or you want to work on the highest or the fastest of passages that you can find. So you want to make sure to have like a little list, preferably written up on the board, that they can follow when they're doing their individualized warm-ups, so that they don't practice poor technique and then have it come back into the rehearsal. There's also the planned warm-up, which is the warm-ups that someday I will be doing as an educator, which is, the pepperoni pizza, the scales, the arpeggios, different things that tackle different challenges that my orchestra may face. And if my warm-ups don't have a direction, then I can't expect things to get better. I can't expect them to have an effect if they don't have a specific goal in mind. Then there's the review of old materials, which you should spend review of old materials and introduction of new materials, which should be about half of your allotted time in the classroom. So by old materials, it was my understanding that it was pieces that have been read through before by the orchestra, things that have been worked on intensely, or have been seen, or you've been playing through for a while, things that the students know and are comfortable with at this point in time. The introduction of new materials, however, are things that, they might have seen. You might have gone over it, the first rehearsal, and it might be on the concert list, but you just haven't taken time to really sit down and go through those challenging passages. So, maybe at the end of one of your rehearsal as a sight reading exercise, you went over a piece that's going to be the concert, and now you want to bring it back and use it as and go over the challenging spots and start integrating it into everyday rehearsal. Excuse me. So then you can move on to sight reading and improvisation, which is very important for students nowadays to learn how to sight read something on the spot. And that doesn't mean being perfect with everything. That doesn't mean that when I hand you a piece, you should know right off the bat how to play it, what it sounds like. You should be able to sing it for me before you've heard it. It's more along the lines of how well you can follow the beat and read things on the spot. And it also helps it helps your students understand things in a different way and really work on that skill, because sight reading takes practice. It doesn't happen at the drop of a hat. Announcements and comments should come next. So you typically want to do announcements and comments very briefly, not over explain anything, because you're going to lose the attention of your middle schoolers. They have very short attention spans. And you want to do it right before your end of rehearsal. And the end of rehearsal should be a piece that your students know very well. You want to end it on a high note. You want to end it with them feeling motivated and triumphant because they were able to play it well. Um, so, troubleshooting during rehearsal. It is important to learn how to identify and correct different issues going on in your rehearsal. So, if I stop the violas because they have, let's say, a rhythm wrong, I want to be able to sit there and figure out, well, why is the rhythm wrong, and then figure out, because they're doing this, I need to do this to help them fix it, and I should be keeping that aid or that spot work for that section between like 2 and 3 minutes, as to not lose the attention or frustrate other students in the class. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much a synopsis or an overview of the chapter that I read, and my basic understanding of what was going on.